Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick tutorial on how I made these custom cookie cutters with my 3D printer. I have an Ender 3 S1. It's in my opinion a great entry-level printer. If you have a similar FDM printer, this tutorial should still work for you. With practice, you can get an STL and G code of your cutter in about 20 minutes and have it printed in an hour. Now for this tutorial, I'm using Photoshop. You can use any image software, but the goal here is just to make a black outline of your cookie cutter. I'm also going to be using Tinkercad instead of a native 3D modeling software. I think this is the most accessible platform for this tutorial. It's free, you can use it directly through your browser, and it's also fast. So let's get into it. We'll start by grabbing our reference image from the internet. Now I have an Easter bunny cookie cutter here that I want to make. So we'll put that into Photoshop. And then we'll make a new layer. Now we're going to be using the pen tool to outline the shape. So this is the only step that's going to take some practice. Play around with clicking and dragging with the pen tool and holding Control and Alt while clicking points and dragging, and you'll begin to understand all the intricacies of this tool and help you get a more accurate outline. So it's not a super hard tool to use, and depending on how simple the shape is, it shouldn't take you too long to get a good grasp on how to use it. Now, while this is getting done, I wanted to mention that if you have a symmetrical cookie cutter, you can just draw half of it and then duplicate it, flip it, and merge the layers. So after you close the pen tool shape, the outline is going to be found in the path section right here next to layers. With the empty layer selected, we're going to go to paths, right click the work path and select fill path. So now if you hop back over to layers, you'll now see that in the empty layer, you'll see that we have a black outline of what will be the shape of the inside of your cookie cutter. Now we're going to zoom out and change the units up here to inches, and I'm going to resize this to about a 3 to 3.5, maybe 4-inch cookie. So this will be the first of 3 images we save for this cutter. I like to right click the layer and select quick export as PNG. I'll just call this bunny 1. Now we're going to want to pump out 2 more images, each slightly larger than the next. The first one will be for the size of the cutter at the outer edge of the wall, and then the third will be the size of the thicker and wider lip of the cookie cutter that gives it its structural stability. So to do this easily, we're going to use the stroke feature in Photoshop, which just makes an outline around an image. And an easy way to get to it is to double click the layer and select stroke. And one thing to make sure, you want to have outside selected, which makes sure that the entire width of the stroke is on the outside of your image instead of kind of drawing over it. And depending on your resolution, this may be different, but for the first image, I like to make it 8 to 10 pixels. So this will be the width of the cookie cutter wall. I change it red here so you can see what the stroke tool is doing, but you want to make sure it's all the same color, and I like to use black. Quick export as PNG, save it as bunny 2. We're going to go back into the stroke tool, and I like to make this one about 40 to 50 pixels. PNG, save, bunny 3.
The next thing you want to do is leave a like on this video and also click subscribe.
One other step we needed to do with these PNG files is convert them into SVG files. Now don't worry about what that means, but Photoshop just can't save images to SVGs, unfortunately. I like to use this website called Image Online Convert. I mean, you can only do it one file at a time, but it has never failed me, and it's free. And boom, you should have 3 SVG files. And now we're gonna hop on over to Tinkercad. You're gonna want to select New 3D Design. And we're gonna import each SVG file into Tinkercad at about 10% scale. You'll see it's about 80 to 100 millimeters. And once all those 3 files have imported, you'll see the magic happen. Now it's all coming together. You can click around and press on that little button in the center to drag it around and essentially make the shape of your cookie cutter. I don't really know how to explain it, but you can see what I'm doing here. You're gonna click on the center piece and make it a hole, and then select your entire model and then click on the combine button. Now this is just gonna take some time. And while you're waiting for all these pieces to combine, it's a great opportunity to subscribe to my channel. I didn't cut the footage here, so it's taking about what you see on the screen right now for me at the time I made this one. I do know if you spin it, it goes faster, so. Oh look, yep. And so that is your model. Now the last thing you might want to do is mirror your cookie cutter, because if you think about it, you're going to be pressing this against the cookie dough. But then you can also flip the cookie dough, but if you don't want to do that, you know, you could mirror the model right here and then export as an STL file. And there we have it. We have our STL in the Creality software. You can size it up here and there, make it at the lowest quality and 100% fill, and it should be pretty fast. This one cookie cutter took me, let's see here, under an hour with very little material. And let's see how that goes. So here it is. I mean, you can wash these, you can store these for a long period of time. So yeah, it's a great way to make use of your 3D printer. I used just regular PLA, and they're super easy to print. They never fail. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to help you out. Alrighty, bye.